Hi, and welcome back to Live Your Best Life podcast. And today I wanted to talk about something which has the power to completely transform not only your space, but your mind, your energy, and the direction of your life. I'm talking about minimalism, not the extreme version that you might picture with an empty room with a chair, but the practical, powerful way we can remove what's holding us back so we can focus on what really matters. Now, if you've ever felt overwhelmed, stuck, distracted, or like your environment is working against you, then this is the episode for you. So, what is minimalism? At its core, it's the intentional removal of the unnecessary things to make space for what truly matters. It's not about having nothing, but it's about having the right things. And that could be fewer possessions, fewer distractions, fewer commitments, and more clarity, focus, freedom, and energy. It isn't a look, it's a mindset. But why is it so difficult? Why are we surrounded by clutter? If minimalism is so powerful, why don't more people live this way? Because everything around us is designed to make us do the opposite. We live in a world where we're constantly told to buy more, to upgrade, to do more, to be more. And clutter builds up because of emotional attachment. We keep things just in case. We have a fear of letting go of things. We keep things for convenience or just out of habit or social pressure and comparison. And it's not just the physical clutter. We carry mental clutter, digital clutter, time clutter. Minimalism is difficult because it forces us to confront all of these things and the reasons behind them. So, what would be the benefits of minimalism? It gives you clarity, focus, time, energy, and freedom, and better decision making. I know when I'm surrounded by clutter, I find it very difficult to be productive because instead of focusing on the task in hand, I get distracted by the stuff around me. So, I've recently been on a minimalism journey of my own. So, over the years, I've managed to accumulate a lot of stuff. I'm very much the emotional hoarder. I'm that person who keeps everything just in case, and it can very quickly get out of hand. And what I found is that when you get to the point where you want to do something about it, it can be very difficult to just suddenly let go of everything. So what I've done is I would break my life down into sections. So if I was starting with my house, I would break it down into the different rooms or the different areas, and I'd tackle something really easy. So for me, an easy win would be a kitchen cupboard. So I'm not trying to minimalize my whole life in one go. I would just take one small thing and do that. And it's amazing once you do that small task, get rid of the stuff that's going out of date or that you just know you're never going to use. And once you've done that, it gives you the momentum to then start another area. What you don't want to do is go straight into the drawer of emotional pictures, birthday cards, all that kind of thing, and try and start letting go of stuff like that. So that would then become very overwhelming, and you'd probably just spend all day looking at the pictures and not actually get anything done. But research has shown that a cluttered environment can increase our stress levels. Simpler environments can improve our decision making. By reducing clutter, we can improve our productivity and well-being. And this very much for me is true. Like I say, if I'm in a very tidy room and I know where everything is, I just find it so much easier to focus on whatever I'm doing. And I'm very much a procrastinator if I'm so it doesn't take a lot to distract me. So if I'm doing a task that I know is going to be difficult, or it's a bit out of my comfort zone, then I'm very easily distracted off that. So we can use minimalism in everyday life. We can use it in our home to keep what we use and value. We can do it with our schedule and learn to say no more. We can go through our phone and remove all the unnecessary apps. We can clear photos that we don't need, old screenshots that we've taken. And even in our relationships in our life, we can just be more mindful about how much we're letting in, how many commitments we're letting in, how many obligations we're giving ourselves. So, with minimalism, first of all, there's an awareness of if it's an issue for you. Then we can start decluttering. Once you've done that initial declutter, we can then start to be a bit more intentional of the stuff that we let into our life. And then it becomes a lifestyle. So just recently, we decided that we wanted to travel more, and that meant completely uh, minimalizing our life. So we started small with one drawer, one shelf, one area, one room, and we gradually built up. Um, we have a general rule: if we haven't used it in a year, we question whether we need it. Does it serve a purpose? If not, do we need to keep it? Does it align with who you're becoming? No? Then let it go. And does it bring you joy? If you're genuinely keeping something because it makes you smile, it makes you happy, then of course you would want to keep those things. So I went through a whole process of doing this minimalism journey to declutter things out of my life. And it was the most empowering thing. I can tell you that the more I did it, the more I wanted to do it. Um, and what I found was once I'd been around my whole house and decluttered, I went back and started again because there were so many things that the first time I wasn't ready to let go of. But then once I was in the swing of it, I really could. So practically, what I would do is I'd have boxes out, one for things that can be thrown away, one that can be donated, and one that can be sold. And we sold loads of our old stuff that we didn't need anymore, either through websites like eBay, apps like Vinted, or places like Cash Converters for old electronics. There's loads of websites where you can sell on all your old stuff. And then we went to car boot sales, and we freed up a lot of cash by doing this as well. So if you're saving up for something special, this is a really good way to identify what you need and what you can let go of and maybe earn some money out of. The stuff that we didn't sell, we then donated, and that always feels good to be giving things to people who might get more joy out of that item than you did, or something practical that someone else might need. So, having been through this process, I've actually designed a 30-day challenge to help you get going. So, if you're one of those people that you are holding on to a lot of stuff and you're finding it's getting in the way of life because it's causing you stress because of the clutter in your house, or you're finding it difficult because you can't find things because things are messy, or if you just want to free up space, because I'm a big believer that to bring new things into your life, you need to make space for them. So, my 30-day challenge, the link will be in the show notes, or you can look on my social media. I'll post it up there as well. And it's a challenge for 30 days to get rid of one thing per day. So, it's not too challenging to start off with. It'll be easy. Like I say, go for the kitchen cupboards. There's always stuff that you can get rid of or donate to a food bank in there. Bathrooms are great as well. Old toiletries that you've been given as gifts that you're never going to use. And if you really get into the swing of this, I've also developed a 52-week decluttering guide. And this takes you one step at a time, really gently through the process over 26 weeks. And then we go back to the start and we revisit all those areas that we may have not been ready to let go of things. And you can always find that there's a few more things that you can let go of. And once you've done this, you'll just feel like your living space is so much clearer. Your devices, your phones, your laptops will be so much easier to manage because you've got less stuff on there. So, this is really an episode about a real practical guide of how to help yourself be more productive and also just to make space for the new things that you would like to attract in. So I hope you found this a useful one, and I love talking about this subject because it's something I'm really passionate about. And let me know if you give it a try. You can download the free 30-day challenge, and yeah, let me know how you get on with it. And I shall see you back here next week for another topic on how we can live our best life.